Hi folks, today we are going to see about the packages. So in the last video we discussed that we can import the different libraries in the Python. So the libraries, the functionalities of these libraries are like this library is ultimately a .py script which has so many functions already written for you so that you can directly go and you can use them. So if we see like a sum function, so that sum function is already written in the Python's base libraries. So similarly, when we go for the data science, we use so many different types of libraries. For example, Numpy for numerical computations, which is majorly focusing on the matrices and the array format of the database. If we discuss on the second thing, which is very famous, that's the Pandas package. We can call it a package or library or anything. So this Pandas package, it's also like an enhanced version of the Numpy, which is basically built on the top of the Numpy. The ultimate benefit of this is like when you are talking about the matrices, you don't have any the row number or the column names on that, but they have converted these matrices to in the form of the table, where you have the indexes to pinpointing your row particularly, and they have given the column name, so that now you, instead of this I comma j, you know that what particularly the column names, the row name you are talking about. So that has made the life more simpler. And other than that, like definitely the Pandas has lot many other functionalities like the sorting and doing the this mean, sum, and all this basic statistics methodology. Other than that, we use the second best thing is like about the plotting, correct? Because the data science is it's not you can see that without any plots. So for the plottings, we generally use the matplotlib, cbond, plotly, bokeh, and the various packages are there. So now how I know that these packages are there in the market, and ultimately like who are creating these packages. So coming to this part, who are creating these packages. So Python is an open source program language, correct? So when we are talking about the open source programming language, it means like there are many people who are contributing, they are creating these packages in a free. So there is we call as a Python community. So the Python community is like creating the lots of packages. Even if you want, you can make a package, you can make it public, and you can upload it on the Python's community page, and definitely your package will be easy for useful for someone else, correct? So for those purposes, how these packages are built, where we can go and we can find it out, like which are the packages are useful for me, and how we can install these packages in our system. So for all those things, I'll just write it here Python. We are going basically to the Python's main website. If you see, the first link will be welcome to the python.org. The website for your reference is www.python.org. I'll put its link in the description box so that you don't make any mistake. This is what is the Python's basic website. Now when you go here, you will see that they have the docs. Like these docs are a kind of a guideline or documentation for you guys, that how you can start in this Python. Now here you will see the second thing is the PYPI. This is what is the Python package indexing. So PY means the Python, and the P and I is standing for the package index. The moment when you'll click it here, it will take you to this pypi.org. Now this is the website where we are having all the Python packages listed, which are authenticate and available for open for use for everybody else, correct? So if I go here and if I see the Numpy, you can see that you'll find that there are a lot of things of the Numpy, also like the different versions and like when they were released. So if I go with the Numpy 1.20.0, you see that how to install it. It's just like the pip install Numpy. There may be some time when your like package name and the things will be different. So if I just take for an example, I'll just go back and I'll write here suppose the okay dash bootstrap. Okay, so now you see that its return method is like the dash hyphen bootstrap hyphen component 0.22, and its install is like the pip install dash hyphen bootstrap components only. So some this what we call is the last digits, which are actually in the number form. These are the versions of this particular packages. So if you are want to install some specific version, then definitely you can give it like this particular version we want to install. Otherwise you can definitely go and you can directly write this particular name to install your package. So today what we will do is we will install the other important as like the IDE, which most of the data scientists are using. That's what we call as a Jupyter notebook or the Jupyter hub or Jupyter lab. Ideally these all three things are different, but they are connected with this Jupyter term. So this is also in Python package. So the moment when I search for the Jupyter, I just reached here, and they say that yeah, Jupyter meta package, install all the Jupyter components and go. And other thing is like you'll also find the home page of that particular project, the download files, the release history, and the project description. Okay, so what I'll just do is I'll just go to the home page. Like I'm just clicking on the home page. You'll see that the jupyter.org or whatever the particular site for that package which is referring to that, you can directly jump in there. Now you see that this is what is for the Jupyter. They have also shown that how to install it, what are the different like the documentation, the NB viewer. NB viewer is an plugin manager which helps you to add the different plugins to Jupyter, the same way like we added the plugins for the VS Code. So I'll install this Jupyter, and how to install this Jupyter, it's like the pip install Jupyter. I'll just make a copy to this. What I'll do is I'll go to my terminal. I hope that you guys are able to see this terminal. Now you can see that I'm right now in the base environment, but I want to see that in which environment specifically in which we are working, correct? And I have frankly I have forgotten to the name. So the command is the conda info about envs. The moment you hit this algorithm, you'll see that what are the different environments are already available in your conda. So I see that, oh, I created a conda whose name was my env, correct? Now what I'm going to do is I'll just go there and I'll say that conda activate my env. The moment I hit it, you can see that my environment has been changed to the my env. Now again, like I'm making it clarify that I'm using the power level 10k theme on the oh my JSH. That's why my terminal looks like this, and it shows that in which appropriate condas version I am in here. But even if you are using a basic terminal, you'll see before like whatever the username and the prompt symbol you are having, before that you will see in the brackets that in which particular conda version you are working right now. Okay, so we are in our my env part, and I'm going to just say the paste that pip install Jupyter, which we copied from there. I just hit and enter, and now let's wait. It will install that library in here. Now what's the difference of these different packages? So this my env will be having this Jupyter notebook, and my other like if I create a more new environment, that will not be having this Jupyter lab, correct? Now the other part you would be seeing that it's writing like the collecting. Okay, so I'll again go on the top. It says that collecting Jupyter, but if you see in between, it says that it has downloaded some of the components. Okay, what is the difference between this downloaded component and the collecting components? Now suppose you already have the base Python version available somewhere in your computer. Okay, the moment when I install this Python Jupyter in any of my environment, it has already downloaded those files and it is kept it ready. If I'm not assigning a particular the version number, then it's taking that whatever the latest Jupyter which is installed on the PC, it will just capture those files from there and make it copy. So that's why it's saying that the collecting the Jupyter. So ultimately it's collecting the Jupyter 1.0.0, which is the by default and which is already available in my system. So it's just making the copies of those library files in my environment right now, so that even in my env I can go and I can use this Jupyter without any issue. Okay, now you can see that it has installed so many things. Now you will also see that when I just install this Jupyter, then why it's installing Jupyter console, IPy notebook. So look, so even if you'll go and install the Python, if you install the pandas, okay, so it will install Numpy automatically if it's not already installed in your system. Reason is like all packages are built with the help of some other packages, or like some other packages are required to run that particular package. Okay, so if I take an example, like when I say the Jupyter also like the IPy widgets and this Qt consoles, this NB convert, correct? We saw that this is being used for this plugins and all. So that's why like all the dependencies will also be installed along with that particular package, so that it gives us the flawless service at the time when we are calling this. So now what I'll do is I'll clear this out, and now to run this Jupyter notebook, what we'll do is I'll say Jupyter notebook. Okay, and again, like I hope guys like you know that how to install any packages now going forward. You can just go to this pypi.org file, you can search for your project, and then definitely you can go and you can just like paste that particular project link there, correct? I just copied this and I pasted this here, and then I run this. Okay, and just before running, always be sure that in which particular environment you are at that time, because it really matters. Okay, now the moment I said that Jupyter space notebook and I hit enter, now let's see that what happens next. Okay, so Now I think, yeah, so it will actually automatically open whatever the browser you are already set as a default browser in your system. So I'll just okay, we'll discuss about it, but before that let's jump back to our terminal, and I want to show you some things here. So the moment when you see it shows that the Jupyter Notebook 6.4.0 version is running, the next line it actually shows that it's on localhost colon 8888. What does this mean? So the localhost means like it has created a local server which is capable of running in your system only. Okay, it's not as a Google dot website which can run anywhere. The local host can be like, again, it's mapped a word, but ultimately this local host is always pointing to the IP, which is 127.0.0.1. Okay, now this next word, which is 8888, we call it as a port. Now what port is, like, you can leave it, but just understand like it's one of the pipeline which you have opened to run from your local server, so that now you can access this from that particular pipe and you are using it. After that, even you will see this token ID. Okay, so this token ID is ultimately a confirmation that the moment you log in, it's a kind of a basic auth purpose which actually it uses for the running it. Now you'll see in the next this green line that use Control C to stop this server and shut down all the kernels. Okay, now why we call it, like, look, so suppose you are here, okay, and I just close this terminal. Suppose I close this, okay, it doesn't mean that I have closed my Jupyter Notebook. It's still running in the system. It's still using the RAM and the memory of my system. So even you saw that that was running in that particular system. Now if I want to run it here, you can just go, you can type local host and then colon 8888 and you hit enter, and even I'll be able to run my Jupyter Notebook in my this particular system. Now you'll see that it's asking me to write a password or token. Correct? Now where will I find token? This is what is your token. I'll just copy this particular thing from here. Okay, I'll come here and I'll just paste this token. I don't know, is it yeah, sorry, I pasted twice. You just paste the token and you say that login. Once you use that particular token, you are already logged into the system. Okay, so it doesn't matter like if you have closed your this server or not. Now again, the second thing is, if you really want to shut down this Jupyter Notebook, the way of shutting down is use Control C. You need to really press Control C. So suppose like I'm just pressing the Control C here, I just press Control and C. It will ask me that, do you want to shut down this notebook server? I say yes, I want to shut down this notebook server, and you'll see that it's been shut down. Now even if I want to go to the desktop, it's working, but the moment when I'll refresh it, it say that this site can't be reached now. The reason for that is like we have and the server which was running at the back end of this particular URL, so that's why we are unable to access the services now. Okay, so I'll just launch it again. So I just relaunched the Jupyter Notebook server. This time we will see that what are the different things which is already available in this. So it has the first thing, which is the top icon of this. You have the quit here and the logout here. So if you log out again, like you'll have to log in through that token ID. Now you can see that here again there are the three tabs. One is about the files, second thing is about the running items, and third thing is about the clusters. Now what about the running things? Running things means if any of the terminal you are running or any of the notebooks you are running, those notebooks will be shown here. So just for example, suppose I'm going to desktop, I'm going to this particular thing, and I just open this Jupyter Notebook. Okay, now you'll see here it's a kernel, and now you see it's a blank thing. Okay, previously it was just a black. If you just rewind this video for 10 seconds, you can see that. So when I hover it, it said the kernel is idle. It means like particular right now this particular notebook is alive and it's working fine. The moment I'll go here and I'll go on the running, you'll see that this desktop / AIML Kapil Panwar and this untitled IPYNB is actually running, and this is running with the Python 3, and if you want I can shut it down. But before that, as we know that we have entered through the miniconda, and I just want to be sure, correct, because here we don't have any terminal to set it up like in which particular Python I'm working. So now when you'll see, I'll just write okay, so again like this command, okay, this exemption sign, if I put this exemption sign and if I write any of the Linux query, I can just write it will behave as a Linux terminal. Okay, so when I hit the pwd, it means like what is my present working directory, it shows me this icon. So what I'm going to do is I am saying the which Python, okay, and the moment I execute it, it shows me, look, it's in the miniconda 3's environments my env. So right now the Python which is available in the bin directory of my env, which is actually the environments of Miniconda 3, that Python has been used here. Okay, so then no way of like changing your Python. Whenever you are working in the Jupyter notebook, the only point to change your that particular environment is like you install the Jupyter notebook in that particular environment in which you want to use it, and then launch the Jupyter notebook being in that particular environment. So it will automatically refer that environment in which you are working. Now the other best thing is, suppose right now I am working in this notebook, and I say that import numpy, okay, and we know that no module of numpy is available there. Okay, now we want to install this numpy. The same way, what I'll do is I'll just go to the ppy. I'll say I'm looking for the numpy. Okay, it shows me that the numpy is here. It's a fundamental project. I just copied it. Now you know that how to install it in the terminal. Now I'll show you how to install it here. I told you about this symbol, correct? I just put this symbol. I just pasted this line, and now I'm just executing this particular cell. Now again you'll ask that how to execute this cell. The moment you have selected this cell, you can just go and click here on the run. This will also run, and like otherwise, like if you are in this cell, you can just hit the shift plus enter tab. Okay, the moment you hit the shift and enter, it will install that. Look, that's saying that the collecting numpy, and it's installing the collected numpy. So again, like look, it says that it's used the cache memory, correct? Because this was already available in my particularly Mac OS files, so it has grabbed it, the numpy from there for my this particular environment. Now if I again go above, and if I hit it import numpy, it's imported. Okay, this star shows that this particular piece of cell is actually working, and how it's beneficial is like you go and you execute each and everything in the particular line. Now again, if you want to delete some of the cells, suppose I'm not going to use this cell anymore because it's already been installed. So what I'll do is I'll cut it, but before cut it down, suppose what if I re-execute it, correct? It will say that the requirements already satisfied. Okay, so the numpy is already available in my system. So there is no harm if again you hit it, but just I'll remove it for the purposes. I will remove this also, will remove this also. This was just for the improvement. So now we'll just see that what the different things we found in the notebook before starting. This is again like the same file. You can save, make, copy, renaming, all these basic features. You directly have here the floppy sign. You can just click on here to save. Before that, I would just want to change the name. I'll say that the basics of Python data types. Okay, I renamed it, and I can just click here to save it. You have this, like you can cut this cell, you can copy these things, you can move cell up and down, you can run, you can stop if particular cell is running, you can restart the entire kernel, and you can just restart the kernel and rerun all the cells. Okay, I'll tell you about these things in the future. Again, like this is very important thing. If you see it here, it shows the code, Markdown, row NB convert, and the headings. So these two things we will be used most frequently. What is the purpose of this Markdown is, so Markdown is again like it's a language, okay, and it has its own prototype for writing it. So suppose if I put this one and I say that welcome to AI ML with Kapil Panwar, okay, and then I just praise this line for the 3 times, and then again I'm going here, I'm just making a subline, and the subline is about the basics of Python data types. The moment I executed this, you can see that it has put a headline, and then again it is the level 3rd heading, and you can see that here is a separator. Okay, a page separator is available there. So this is what is called as a Markdown. Now this is what the difference. You can see that in the Markdown you will not see this symbol of input, correct? And in this you will see the symbol of input. It's in the code. If you want, you can definitely go and change it out. Okay, from here you can see the shortcuts basis your our operating system. So like I'm using this, that's why it's saying me the command mode, command mode, command mode. But the moment like when you will be using your system with the Windows or with the Linux, it will show you to the control switch, that how you can go and how you can use any of these things using your keyboards. Now what is this? This is all about the kernel. As I mentioned you, like the kernel is the thing which is actually letting you know that this particular Python is alive for you or not. And then here it's the lockout. So this is what is the basic thing about this entire thing, that how you can install the Jupyter notebook, how you can install a package. You can install a package through a terminal, or you can install a package through this Jupyter notebook as well. How we put this Markdown, and how we use this code cells, and what is the different things in the Jupyter notebook, how you can launch the Jupyter notebook from one server to, like, from one browser to the other web browser, how to make use of this token, and all these things. So now in the next video we'll discuss about the different types of data sets and the data types. So now we'll be working in this particularly notebook. Thank you.